You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, B&B fans. It's time for our weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Taylor reeling Ridge in and Hope and Carter ending Thomas. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and as always, our predictions are based on recent episode activity, official CBS soap spoilers, and of course, the promos. We've got predictions for Hope, Carter, and Thomas, for Ridge and Taylor, for Grace, Thomas, and Paris, for Taylor and Dr. Buckingham, and for Katie, Brooke, and Bill. If you're not following us, please click subscribe. Now let's dive right into our first prediction. Taylor Hayes' crisis with her heart, I think is going to reel Ridge Forrester in closer. So spoilers for this. On Monday the 30th, we have Ridge Forrester panicking when he cannot get Taylor Hayes to come to after she collapsed. You'll remember at the end of Friday's episode, she was watching him and Brooke canoodle. Her heart started pounding, and after Brooke left the room, she collapsed. Curtain went down, everything. In the promo, he's trying to revive her, saying, "Wake up, wake up." So Tuesday, October 1st, Ridge finds out Taylor is in heart failure, and he flips out, according to spoilers. Other spoilers for that day say Brooke is reminding Steffi that Ridge wants her and not Taylor, and that they are committed to each other. And then on Wednesday the 2nd, Ridge is pressuring Taylor to get a second opinion, but she is very resistant. And he is going to get her to go, but obviously he's very worried, and that by nature is going to pull him closer. And if Brooke acts suspicious at all about Taylor, and she might, given that whole thing where Ridge's mom, Stephanie, faked that heart attack to try and get that wedding. She did make it happen, the deathbed wedding for Taylor and Ridge. She might think, Taylor's pulling the same thing. She lied when she came back to LA. And it sounds like Ridge is going to maybe go to the doctor with her even. And I will think that he sees Brooke as being unreasonable if she speaks out. So this could definitely be a couple shakeup, as much as I don't want to even think about it. Our second prediction, Katie Logan is still scared of her big sister, Brooke. Monday, September 30th, spoilers have Will Spencer telling Katie how he really feels about his dad, Bill Spencer. And of course, Bill's been trying to reunite them. Thursday, October 3rd, spoilers say Bill opens up to Katie and he makes himself vulnerable, which is a good sign. But on Friday, October 4th, Katie talks to Brooke about her fears. And in the promo, Will is telling Steffi he wants to work at Forrester. So Will is obviously team Katie on this. Bill's claiming that he's changed and he wants Katie back. But Katie's top fear has to be how Brooke and Bill feel about each other, and more specifically, how Bill feels about Brooke. It was like 3, maybe 4 years ago, Katie overheard Bill telling Brooke he still loved her, always will love her, and that she is the love of his life. And she overheard it, and then he got rejected by Brooke and was immediately trying to get back together with Katie. So I think that Brooke is going to remain a top source of anxiety when discussing any Bill reunion. And if Ridge gets too close to Taylor, then Katie might be even more paranoid, which makes sense. Our third prediction, Taylor gets a second opinion. Shocker. Is there hope for her future? So on Monday the 30th is when Ridge is trying to revive Taylor after she collapses. And then there's a spoilers picture I can't show you, but he's got his jacket off. He puts it on her. He's definitely in that take care of her mode, damsel in distress, all that. And she's going to admit to the heart failure, and then she's going to go get a second opinion. On Thursday, October 3rd, she goes to see Doctor Grace Buckingham. Cassandra Cree is back, and she runs some tests on Taylor's heart. And by Friday, October 4th, it looks like she does have a second opinion diagnosis, but Taylor is skeptical. So it sounds like she may get a different prognosis from Dr. Buckingham. And I wonder if it's going to be something like, yes, there is hope. Like you need a heart transplant, but you could survive this. And we'll see, because she definitely came to town with the mindset of, I'm here to die, even without seeing a cardiologist. Our fourth prediction, Hope and Carter's romance is a red flag that Thomas is gone for good. So last week, Carter told Hope he'd like to see her in lingerie, brought up her modeling for Brooke's bedroom as a way to increase visibility for Hope for the future, which is struggling. Very clear that he's flirting, and he seemed open to it. And let's be real, he's dated women younger than Hope. And they have a talk next week in the promo where Carter is saying to her, an office romance? And she says, bad idea, never again. And Carter's like, no way. And Hope's like, no way. So they're going there. And I do think Hope is going to dive into something with Carter. At the very minimum, a flirtmance to try and get Finn off her mind. Hopefully to convince Steffi to get off her back because she's dating another man. But if this works out and Carter and Hope do spark and they do ignite some flames, to me, that's a red flag that Brad Bell has no intention of ever bringing back Thomas Forrester to stay on Bold and the Beautiful. I have doubted it for a while. I mean, it has been months since we saw Thomas, and the last time we saw him, he was in and out. And you guys know that Bold and the Beautiful likes to write people out, never tell fans, never address it in storylines. So yeah, this is a concern. Our fifth and final prediction, Grace Buckingham's return signals Thomas and Paris's wedding is soon. But then what? So on Thursday, October 3rd and 4th, at least one of those days, but possibly both, we should have Dr. Grace Buckingham on screen. She is doing some tests on Taylor's heart. She's going to give her a prognosis. But don't forget, they could have had any doctor do this. It could have been Lee Finnegan. It could have been Finn. It could have been Bridget Forrester. It could have been some rando extra that they hired for a couple of episodes. But bringing back Paris Buckingham's mom a few weeks before November sweeps begins late in October, to me, that signals that Thomas and Paris's wedding is going to come in November sweeps. Like way back, I had predicted that because they, talked about an ASAP wedding and then disappeared. But again, I just don't have high hopes that Brad Bell is going to keep Thomas, but the mom being around makes sense for the wedding. I suspect that they've either dropped Matt Atkinson to recurring or are planning to write him out after he gets hitched to Paris. They may have Thomas and Paris say their I do's. He wishes Hope luck with Carter, and he and his kid and his wife head back to Europe for their happily ever after. So that is another red flag to me, and that's why I have it in the predictions. Definitely drop your comments. Let me know where you are hoping these storylines are going, what you think of these predictions. Agree or disagree? I love reading your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt talking B&B with you 7 days a week.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.